Aegon's conquest, also called the Conquest, was the campaign in which Aegon I Targaryen conquered most of Westeros. Together with his sisters Visenya, Rhaenys, and their dragons Balerion, Vhagar, and Meraxes, Aegon subdued 6 of the 7 kingdoms, but was resisted by Dorne. Not all had to be taken by conquest, as some of the regions and houses actively supported House Targaryen and others submitted and bent the knee. The 7 ruling families of the Westerosi nobility were House Stark under Torrhen Stark, the king in the north; House Arryn under Ronald Arryn, king of Mountain and Vale and a young boy whose mother Shara Arryn ruled as regent; House Hoare under Harrenhal, king of the Isles and Rivers, known as Harren the Black; House Lannister under Loren First Lannister, king of the Rock; House Gardner under Mern Gardner, king of the Reach; House Durrandon under Argilac Durrandon, the Storm King, known as Argilac the Arrogant; House Martell under Miria Martell, the Princess of Dawn, a blind woman and a bald woman of 80, known as the Yellow Toad. The war began in 2 BC when Aegon Targaryen and his 2 sisters, Rhaenys and Visenya, landed with fewer than 1,600 men at the mouth of the Blackwater Rush. Upon the highest hill, Aegon started construction of the Aegon Fort, a small wooden motte-and-bailey fort, as the first claim of the mainland to Westeros. He was also supported by House Bar Aemon, House Celtigar, House Massey, and House Velaryon. House Rosby yielded their garrison and castle to Rhaenys, while House Stokeworth surrendered to Visenya after Vhagar used dragonfire to burn the roof of House Stokeworth's castle. Aegon's first test came from Lord Darkland of Duskendale and Lord Mouton of Maidenpool, who joined their power and marched south with 3,000 men to face Aegon. Aegon sent Orys Baratheon to meet them on the march, whilst he descended on them from above with Balerion. After both lords were slain in a quick and easy battle for Orys and Aegon, Darkland's son and Mouton's brother yielded their castles and swore their swords to House Targaryen. After the quick skirmishes, they returned to the Aegon fort. Then in a ceremony, Queen Visenya then placed a Valyrian steel circlet studded with rubies on her brother's head, and Queen Rhaenys hailed him as Aegon, first of his name, king of all Westeros and shield of his people. Aegon then sent his fleet, commanded by Daemon Velaryon, to take Goldtown and the Vale with Visenya and Vhagar. A hastily assembled Arryn fleet under Lord Grafton of Goldtown, the chief port in the Vale, was assembled. They also assembled a dozen Braavosi warships and met and defeated the Targaryen fleet in the battle in the waters of Goldtown. Among the dead was Aegon's admiral Daemon Velaryon. After the remaining ships that belonged to Aegon started to retreat, Visenya descended on the Arryn fleet and burnt all their ships. In the aftermath of the battle over the waters of Goldtown, rebellion broke out on the 3 sisters. The sister men renounced their allegiance to House Arryn of the Eyrie and declared that the Queen to be Lady Marla Sunderland of House Sunderland. The thought of why they did this is that they knew of Aegon's dragons and that they were sure to come and burn the Vale and the 3 sisters to ash in revenge of the destruction of their fleet and the death of the head of House Velaryon. Aegon's next move was to march northwest to the God's Eye and to Harrenhal, but he was attacked by House Hoare twice on the way south of the God's Eye. The Battle of the Reeds was a Targaryen victory, but they suffered heavy losses at the Wailing Willows when 2 of King Harren's sons crossed the lake on longboats with muffled oars and fell upon their rear. Balerion fell upon the victors as they were crossing back across the lake, burning Harren's longboats and killing both his sons. Harren summoned the River Lords to defend Harrenhal, but they rose up against House Hoare under the leadership of Lord Edmund Tully of Riverrun. One by one, House Blackwood, House Mallister, House Vance, House Bracken, House Piper, House Frey and House Strong joined their strength to Aegon, with Edmure being the first to do so. Suddenly outnumbered, King Harren the Black took refuge in his supposedly impregnable stronghold of Harrenhal. Aegon sent envoys to Harren the Black at his castle to parley. What you're about to see now in the pictures will describe what was said at that meeting. Yield now, and you may remain as Lord of the Iron Islands. Yield now, and your sons will live to rule after you. I have 8,000 men outside your walls. What is outside my walls is no concern to me. Those walls are strong and thick, but not so high as to keep out dragons. Dragons fly. I built it in stone. Stone does not burn. Aegon calmly looked at Harren, looked back at his army, and looked again, and calmly replied to his answer with this: "When the sun sets, your line shall end." King Harren returned to his castle, and he promised riches, lands, and Tully's daughters, and all of the Riverlord's daughters to anyone that could slay Aegon's dragon Balerion in the upcoming battle. When the sun went down, Aegon flew Balerion high above Harrenhal before plunging him down upon the castle with fire and blood. All of the flammable, both supplies and ironmen, caught fire within the castle, while Harrenhal's stone towers cracked and melted. The rivermen outside observed that the towers glowed and melted like wax candles. Harren and his sons died in the largest of the towers of Harrenhal, which would later give the tower its name, King's Pyre Tower. With the death of House Hoare and King Harren the Black, their house was extinct. Once the walls of Harrenhal cooled, all the ruined swords of the Iron Men were taken back to the Aegon fort, where they eventually would become the first lot of swords to be added to the Iron Throne. The following day, after the burning of Harrenhal, Lord Edmund Tully swore fealty to Aegon, who accepted him and named him Lord of Riverrun and Lord Paramount of the Trident. He also accepted the oaths of fealty from all the other Riverlords. I'm going to end the video there. That's part 1 of Aegon's Conquest. I'll do the part 2 in the coming days. Sorry about the mic and me word slip ups, but I'm going to try, and I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you.